everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Today we are looking at something that affects every one of us on which how we can grow our food.
And let's be real, it's getting harder to grow enough food for everyone. The climate is changing, the soil is getting worse, and the pest keeps adapting. And on top of that, we are running out of land while the population keeps growing. Farmers are under pressure to produce more with less.
But traditional breeding methods are too slow to keep up. We need faster, smarter tools to improve crops. That's where science comes in, especially omics technologies. We are talking about functional genomics and proteomics.
Functional genomics helps us figure out which genes control important traits, things like yield, stress tolerance, or nutrient quality. Once we know the gene, we can select or engineer crops more precisely. It saves time and gives better results than the old school methods.
Proteomics takes it further by studying the proteins of the plant. Proteins are what actually makes the plant grow, defend, and also adapt.
So when a plant is stressed, like from drought or maybe heat, proteomics will show how it responds. It also helps scientists to find key proteins that keep plant alive. Then we can use that info to build a stronger crops. Stronger crops will make sure to survive in a tough condition and maybe give a good yield.
That means we use less water, fewer pesticides, and fewer fertilizer. That's better for the environment and long-term farming.
In short, these tools help us build climate smart agriculture, more food, and less harm.
And at this episode, we're going to explore how genomics and proteomics will support this change. Let's see how they help us to grow better crops for a better future. Let's get started.
You know, after talking about how genes and proteins affect crops, I keep thinking about how far plant science has come.
Yeah, right. It's not just about crossing two plants and waiting anymore. Now, we can look inside into the genomic and figure out what's really going on. Genomics makes it possible to pinpoint which gene control the traits with higher yield, better stress tolerance, and as well as improve the nutrition. And the cool part, we are not guessing anymore. We are working with the actual genetic data to make smarter decisions in crop development.
Take yield for example. It's never about on how single gene is affected by how the plant grows, how it uses energy, how it breaks all that down. We can look at genes related to photosynthesis and how the plant handles flowering time. Like if a plant produces more chlorophyll, it captures light better, which means more energy for growth and better biomass production.
And if flowering happens at the right time, that makes a big difference in how much gain the plants end up producing. But it is not just about making more food. We also need crops that can survive tougher conditions.
Yeah, droughts, heat waves, salty soils, they are becoming normals. And traditional crops don't always handle those well. That's where stress response genes come in. DREB genes, for instance, help plants respond to drought and cold by switching on defense system.
And we haven't even touched on nutrition yet. That's a big one, especially in regions where people depend on one or two main crops. Golden rice is a great example. In adding genes for vitamin A, biosynthesis helps prevent deficiencies in communities that eat a lot of rice.
It's subtle but powerful. You improve health outcomes without changing what people eat every day. Now, let's talk about tools. Because all of this depends on using the right techniques, marker-assisted selection is one of the basics. It helps breeders pick the right plants early just by checking their DNA. It works really well for traits controlled by a few genes, like disease resistance, and it saves a lot of time in the field.
By the way, Dini, there is also genomic selection that one uses data from across the entire genome to predict which plants has a promising results. So this is also a perfect complex trait like drought tolerance and also yield, where many genes play a role at once.
And you can forget CRISPR. That's where it gets really precise.
Yes! Instead of breeding or hoping, you can go in and tweak one specific genes directly without adding foreign DNA. It's already being used like in rice, it handles drought better and also tomato that don't spoil so quickly.
All of these approaches speed things up, make them more accurate, and let us build crops with multiple useful traits.
And also, genomics is a very helping tools. It helps us to grow crops that are productive, nutritious, and also resilient. It gives us a better tools to face what is coming. And also, we're not just adapting to change, but we are building a crops that are ready for it.
And the science is only getting better.
Yes, exactly.
Plants can get sick too, like us human. They can be attacked by fungi, bacteria, viruses, and even insects.
For a long time, farmers have used chemical sprays to protect them, but after a while, pests become resistant and the chemicals start harming the environment.
That's where we new tools like genomics and transcriptomics come in. They help us build plants that can protect themselves.
Let's start with genomics. That means studying the full DNA of the plant. Inside that DNA, scientists can find special resistant genes called R genes. These help the plant recognize and fight off attackers.
One powerful method is called pan-genome analysis. It looks at the DNA of many plant types to find hidden resistant traits. The more genes we study, the more option breeders have to build for disease-resistant crop. That means fewer chemical sprays and stronger plants.
But DNA only shows potential. To understand what the plant does during an actual attack, we need another tool like transcriptomics. Transcriptomics looks at which genes are turned on when the plant is under stress. It's kind of like reading the plant's emergency response. The main method used is RNA sequencing. It tells us how the plant reacts in real time when it's fighting the disease.
This helps scientists to find which defense gene work the best. Then those genes can be used to improve future crops. For example, rice has pi genes that protect it from disease called rice blast. This disease alone can destroy nearly a third of the harvest.
Tomatoes also benefit from this. They have been improved to resist Phytophthora infestans, the same fungus behind the Irish potato famine. All these signs make plants naturally stronger, so farmers can use fewer chemical sprays and still protect their crops.
We have seen how gene helps plant handle stress, but plant don't rely on genes alone actually. It's also changed the protein they make. This called proteome. Basically all the proteins inside a plant, and when the protein is stressed, the proteome change to help them survive.
Oh, I see. Stress can come from drought, salty soil, or extreme heat. These conditions mess with growth and even kill plant if they can't adapt. So the plant reacts by producing special proteins to protect itself. Let's go through a few examples.
Okay, by the way, I know one thing. It's actually heat shock protein, which is HTX. Do you know that it helps protein to fold properly during the heat stress? So there's nothing gonna clumps or even breaks. They are also LEA proteins, in short of late embryogenesis abundant. This also show during drought or cold, and it help the plants to stable the cells.
Now, how do scientists find out which protein are doing what? That's where proteomics tools come in.
Okay, there's also one method. It is called two-dimensional gel electrophoresis, where it separates protein based on size and also charge. This kind will sorting by weight and also shape. Another one is LCMS. It's a mouthful, but it's super powerful. It lets scientists identify and also measure the exact proteins that plant make during stress.
This technique helps us see what's going on inside the plant when it's under pressure. One cool example is from maize when it's under drought. Scientists found certain proteins that always show up. This can be used as stress markers, helpful for breeding drought tolerance varieties in the future.
I also have one example, which is Arabidopsis. It's a lab rat of the plant world. It's been used to study how plants respond from all kinds of stress. This study also gives us a full picture of how proteins help plants to survive. And also, they also guide the future research to improve the crops.
So, as we move forward, proteomics will keep playing a big role. It helps scientists design better crops, not by changing the whole plant, but by boosting the right proteins. It's faster, more targeted, can really help with climate-smart farming.
As you know, we face a lot of unpredictable weather and tougher growing conditions. So this kind of research is more important than ever.
Up next, we'll be looking into how smart farming and digital tools are being used together with omics technologies to help farmers in real time. Stay with us! Let's shift from plant in the field to what's end up to your plate, which is food.
Proteomics isn't just about how plants survive stress, it also plays a big role in checking the quality and the safety of the food that we eat.
Oh, basically, it helps scientists see what proteins are inside food, and those proteins can tell us a lot, or they show whether food is nutritious, safe, or maybe even harmful. It's like reading the report card of the food at the protein level.
Let's talk about safety first. Proteomics can detect toxins in foods like harmful protein from the bacteria.
Even if the amount is super tiny, the tools can be used in proteomics are sensitive enough to catch it. That means we can stop bad batches early.
It's also useful for spotting allergens. Proteins in peanuts, shellfish, milk, those are the ones that cause reaction in some people.
By knowing which protein can cause allergies, food producers can check and label properly, or even find ways to reduce them.
Then there's the quality. Proteomics can tell us how processing like cooking, drying, or fermenting changes the food.
Some proteins get destroyed, some change shape, and some turn into bioactive peptides. This can be good for your health, like lowering blood pressure or boosting immunity.
This is helpful when making functional foods like yogurt with added benefits, or even fortified snacks that do more than just fill you up.
And here's the fun one. Proteomics can even check if the food is real or fake, like whether that expensive cheese is actually what it claims to be.
Yeah, food fraud is a thing, especially with premium products like honey, olive oil, or seafood. Proteomics help verify what's in it.
So overall, this technology gives us better control of what we're eating, not just taste or calorie, but what's happening at the molecular level.
For producer, it helps improve safety and meet regulations. For consumer, it gives peace of mind.
And as food systems get more complex, tools like proteomics help keep them trustworthy.
Good food, safe food, that's the goal.
Guys, guess what is our biggest issue?
Sustainability!
Exactly. By the way, Anna, you know what? Farming today helps feed people and to protect the planet. But agriculture also contributes to climate change. It can also help to feed if we do it better.
One big step is making crops that use fewer resources, less water, less fertilizer, less waste. Scientists now use tools like marker-assisted selection and genomic selection. This helps to find the best gene for traits like strong roots as well as better water use.
That is how we get crops like drought-tolerant maize or even wheat. Their deeper roots can help them to survive during dry seasons actually.
The best part, and by improving nitrogen use, we cut down fertilizer use, which means less pollution in rivers and lakes.
These tools also actually can speed things up, Breeding that used to make years now happen way faster. That's important because climate is changing fast and we need the solution now, not later.
So, science isn't just making farming more productive. It's more sustainable too. Better crops, healthier soil, and also cleaner water. It all connects.
So, from all the points that we've mentioned before, what is the points are hitting? Plant stress proteomics is growing fast, and there's some exciting things on the horizon actually.
One of the biggest things happening now is the multi-omics integration. That means combining data from genes, proteins, and plant chemistry to get the full picture of how plant responds to stress.
It's like putting together a puzzle using different types of information, and it helps scientists understand what's really happening inside the plant.
Another big step is using AI and machine learning. These tools help analyze huge amount of omics data to find patterns we have never spot on our own.
By the way, this also make it easy to predict which plants will survive during stress condition and even how they will perform at a certain environment.
There's also progress in using biosensors. These are the tiny tools that can detect early signs of plant stress, almost like giving plants a way to speak up when something is wrong.
That means farmer can act sooner before things like drought or disease cause serious damage.
And with all this data, agriculture is becoming a lot more precise. Digital breeding platforms and precision farming now use omics info to match crops with local climates.
So guys, I think instead of we feed one size fits all crops, maybe we can start to breed plants that are designed for a specific places and weather.
That's huge for our food security, especially with climate change bringing more unpredictable conditions.
In the end, studying plant proteins under stress gives us strong tools to make crops together and more efficient.
And when we combine that with AI, smart farming, and omics, the future of agriculture looks a lot more hopeful. Okay, thanks for listening.
Stay tuned for the next segment.